Boom.
Bam!
Hey, TC, tonight,
Yes.
our 10th anniversary show. Actually, let's just tell the truth. Ward Coffee is supposed to be here tonight, but he's sick. So
Ward, hope you're feeling better.
yeah, I hope you feel better. I hope don't give it to the kids.
Yes.
So TC and I decided to do a 10-year anniversary show since we got a
Proclamation.
like a proclamation certificate of recognition from the California State Assembly. Is that
Is this good?
a lot of gold in there? You know. It's just,
It looks official.
I know what we're going with that. We think that's official. We think it's a big freaking deal. So we're going with it. We think that's a big deal.
Well, if you have a podcast and you've gotten one of these, then I guess we're no big deal.
Where are we going to hang it? We're going to hang it up
I
here?
think we'll just put it right over here somewhere. It'll find a house here. It'll find a home. But so 10 years ago.
Well, it's actually almost 11 years because I didn't even know it was 10 years, and I made a mistake.
Do we even know how many shows we've done?
No, I don't know. 800. I don't even know.
890?
Almost 900.
Okay. Almost 900 shows, folks.
I should come around there.
You want to come around over here? Yeah,
900.
come around over here. So, so we had a guest tonight, Ward Coffee. Great Santa Cruz, legendary surfer, great shaper, father of amazing surfers, and he's sick. So, like I said, Ward, hope you're feeling better. But we didn't want to give up the show.
No.
So here we are.
We keep up to our normal thing, which is a little bit of pregame.
Yes.
Across the street inside Erie. A little pregame. Then we come over here and we do a show.
Yes.
So the show must go on.
The show must go on. So we thought we'd talk about a couple of our 10 years of shows.
Yeah.
And the people, and if and,
all the people that are no longer here.
Yeah, there are a lot, and 890 shows, and all the guests that appeared together by themselves, the bands.
People always ask me what's my favorite show. I don't have. It's tough to.
It is tough. You might not remember your favorite show.
I did watch Point Break live the other day.
Oh, that's.
I was sick, so I'm sitting at home going, Netflix, Peacock, Amazon Prime, couldn't find shit. Point Break live, such a bad movie.
And before I even start, all of these shows are on OffTheLipRadio.com.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Or on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the Point Break Live,
The Point Break Live was
a play in San Francisco.
A play in San Francisco and New York and L.A. And they went around and they got people out of the audience and they had actors who read the script of the worst lines in Point Break Live, and it was hysterical.
Amazing.
Amazing. And one of the guys that was in that group that lived in Santa Cruz that I contacted said, hey, would you be interested in coming up here to Santa Cruz? I'll get all the great surfers, Adam Replogle. Who else?
Vince Collier. Was Gary Busey. Are you kidding me?
Collier.
Yes.
Richard
VC.
Smith. They were all the top surfers were here, and they all had a role.
Ryan Augustine.
And
he wouldn't paddle out to the peak. He has been at Mavs.
And what's his name?
Nelly was there.
Nelly was there?
Yeah. But anyway.
The guy who does the commentary, what's his name?
Buell. Ryan Buell.
No. The skinny little...
Long...
You just did the beer thing with him here. You just did the beer thing with him. The light... What's it called? The Thunderball? What do they call it with the beer? Remember?
When we... Yeah. I sucked at it.
What's his name?
Austin Smith Ford.
Yes!
Yes, Austin was there. Yeah, he made me try to... What do you call that, kids?
And Gary... Yeah. Boothman was there.
Is
he there? Boothman there?
No.
Sean Dollar was there. Anybody. All the top surfers had to read the lines from the play.
Right.
And the best...
Hands down. Was?
Better than the Hollywood actor.
Was
Vince Collier.
Damn, you should watch that show.
Vince, rest in peace. Please know that we still laugh at that whole... when you read those lines, surfers.
That was a great show. That is...
We laughed. We did it twice, didn't we?
We did it twice. Yeah, that's why you named up all those people. It's two different groups of people who came to that show.
Luke Rockhold, I think, was here. I think Rockhold showed up for that one of them. Buell.
We just kind of ran through some of the people that were on the show just now, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so one pops up to me was Wayne Lynch.
Yeah, well,
we talked about that earlier.
When I called you and said,
Wayne Lynch is going to be on the show.
Oh my God, he's my hero.
I know. my voice kind of raised like that. Because I mean, if you surf and Wayne Lynch is like a legend. a pioneer.
Who was one of the top 5 surfers in the world, right?
I just like that he was a pro surfer that was one of the first, in my opinion, to not follow the pro tour.
He was a government objector too, because
And
he ran away from the.
Yeah, and he would hide out in some cove 1,000 miles
to
from
escape
nowhere.
the Vietnam War.
And surf with sharks, and that was the crowd.
Yeah.
And to me, I wanted to be Wayne Lynch. I've told
Yeah.
you that before. I wanted to be that guy, and he motivated me to seek out surf spots.
I'm
like
going to
that.
go back a second, because we had this all started when a friend of mine, Larry Fuller, who God bless, lives in his van down the street, ends up, for some reason or other, ends up with this wood from redwood tree that was 3,000 years old. 1,000 years older than Jesus Christ, apparently.
Was that the
And
redwood,
so-
or was that the...
No, that was the redwood tree. So all these surfers came from around the world. Wayne Lynch and
Al Merrick.
all these top
Yeah.
shapers came to Santa Cruz. They wanted to shape a surfboard made out of that wood.
The redwood. From the Mirasu...
Guy from Florida,
Wine.
God bless him, I can't remember his name.
Richard? No. Richardson? No.
Our name, you and I, our names suck,
We are
dude.
so bad, yeah. The Glasser.
He was from Florida,
Yeah, mhm.
and he said, Neil, I wanted to get so close to that wood, I wanted to feel the air coming out of the wood, that I just got naked
And shaped
and shaped the board naked. And so all these great shapers came from around the world.
Well, and that redwood, folks, just so you know, had been soaking in red wine.
No, that was a different one. That was the Mirasu wine vat.
Right, that's the redwood.
No.
You're thinking of the one in Fresno, the tree that fell over.
See, there's up in
Sequoia.
The Sequoia fell.
No,
Northern California.
See, that's not the redwood. It was the sequoia, and that sequoia fell over above Fresno towards Yosemite.
No, it wasn't Fresno. It was up north.
You sure?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Okay, but it was a sequoia.
Yeah,
not
it was a
redwood.
Sequoia, no, it was a sequoia tree.
Yeah.
And
Sequoia.
it fell. Normally,
Yeah.
Normally those trees fall down down
Hill.
and they shatter. Mm-hmm. But this one actually fell uphill into snow,
Right.
And it wasn't damaged.
Right. Yeah. No. And so exactly. So they made, and then they also made them out of cacti.
Yeah,
They used
the rarest woods
the agave.
from New Zealand, and anyway.
So long story short,
yeah,
those boards were beautiful.
Yeah,
they were
amazing.
on display at the airport in San Francisco.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And Larry Fuller, dedicated to his craft of preserving this wood and having these shapers make the boards, who lives in his van. Billy Hamilton.
Billy Hamilton. Yes.
Oh my God.
Who was
legend.
Laird Hamilton's dad.
Yeah.
Who was nothing like Laird. He was
His
a
stepdad.
He was unbelievable. He played the guitar, the Spanish guitar, like you could not believe it. He just one of the girls.
Yeah.
He goes, Neil, well, next time I come, I want a kissing contest. I'm going to be
The kissing bandit.
Line the girls
Billy
up,
Hamilton.
Line the girls up at Take
Yeah.
Care. Let me kiss them all, and we have a kissing contest.
Billy Hamilton.
Yeah.
A legend in surfing.
Right.
Been on the show.
Yeah. Twice, two or three times.
Just a few seconds ago, we just went through some of this. We were talking about Rob Roskop.
Yep.
You know, who has been on the show. Jason Jesse.
Right.
Some local legends.
Richard Novak, of course.
Novak, of course. Bob DeNike. The Martian, Tim Primarta, who invented the modern skateboard at NHS. Jeff Kendall, president of NHS. I mean, when you go through some of the... We've had Mike Goldman, you know, like some of the...
You have to do surf, you got to do skate, and you got to do
Shapers.
and you got to do people.
And then politicians.
Yeah,
Our friend Jimmy
we got-
Panetta,
yeah.
our congressman, Jimmy, who is a classic... Tell the story about...
What?
about not that story.
When I went down to the- went down
no,
to the-
but when you're... the phone number.
Oh, yeah. Phone number. So I'm downtown Santa Cruz. I mean, Jimmy Panetta coming on the show. He was not congressman at the time. He was vying to be congressman. And him and TC and I had him coming on the show. It was a big coup for me. Right?
The congressman, of course. Wouldn't you be happy?
Big coup.
Yeah, get
for
the
the show.
congressman
Right?
on the
The
show.
show was
Right.
kind of minor back then. Still is minor.
Minor, yeah.
Now it's really minor. So I see Fred Keeley right down the street, and he's there, got the velvet jacket on, and no one looks better than Fred.
Mm-hmm. He was just on the show 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Fred's mayor of Santa Cruz, currently mayor of Santa Cruz, but no one dresses like Fred. I see him. I go, Fred, come on, I wave him over. Fred. He goes, what? I go, I got Jimmy Panetta coming on the show. I need something I need something you can't Google. I need something fresh. New. TC, we suddenly,
Not AI.
Yeah, not AI, right? He can't book. He's like, let me think. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, you see my iPhone? I go, yeah, I see my iPhone. He goes, I got 10,000 contacts on my iPhone. I'm like, big fucking deal. He goes, yeah, but everybody gets voicemail except one person. I'm like, this is freaking awesome right here. Jimmy Panetta? He goes, no. How about his dad, who's director of CIA, chief of White House staff, and what else? He was something else. What else was he? Secret Service agent. He was James fucking Bond.
He had the codes to the nukes and stuff.
Right.
Okay, no?
No, he goes, no.
Voicemail?
Him, yeah, but he gets voicemail. Sylvia Panetta, the mom, the matriarch, you answer the phone. When she calls, you answer the phone and go, where do I need to be? What do I have to do? What do you need? How can I help you? And then I told this story to Jimmy on the show. And he goes, you know what? You're right. She does run the show.
Like a lot of women do.
She's 4'10".
Well, obviously she's tough as nails to run
Holy
that family.
shit.
But yeah, you think back of, we've become very, not political, but we've been a soapbox for politicians.
Yeah.
Because we don't bust their ass.
No.
And that's been fun to see what's going on locally.
We squeeze Manu a little bit.
We do squeeze Manu a little bit, yeah. And, well, yeah, for good reason, Manu, if you're watching. But we do squeeze him a little bit. We do ask some tough questions.
He comes through.
He does come through.
Whether it's bullshit, he's always got a bullshit. If there's no bullshit or not, he's always got an answer.
Absolutely. And we give everybody an equal platform, and that's the cool thing about our deal.
The people who are in the office, they can, like Zach Friend, right? These guys are good. They can speak.
Well,
they can talk.
That's what got them there, you know. We went through with the trains. We've gone through
We
with...
would never confuse. You and I would never understand the train thing because it was yes for for no, and no for yes. If you
any of you understand?
If you don't want the fucking train, you voted yes.
Yeah.
If you want the train, you say no.
No, it's...
Like, what? Right?
I don't know anybody who voted for that thing except for the people who organized it. Any normal human who voted for the train doesn't know if they voted yes or no.
Anybody who was drinking that day had no chance of getting it right.
Who knows? So I guess you got to read it like 5 times before you vote. Who knows? You know, with all the electric bikes nowadays, no one's going to take a train anyway. So we'll see how that goes, everyone. Let's talk about Shapers.
I'm going to talk about one thing.
Okay.
Real quick, which is on my mind. I'll forget. We need to. If it hits your mind, talk about it right away.
I like
as
it.
I forget.
Yeah.
Chris Burdish, when he first came on the show.
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Look at it. I got it right here.
Burdish. What do you got? The book?
I got the book.
Okay, so Burdish, but that wasn't the event.
We're talking about the Maverick show?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's been on a couple of times.
Yeah.
This is Chris Burdish's new book, which I highly recommend. The
Did you know
story's insane.
he's got something else up his sleeve now?
I'm sure he does.
So Burdish, God bless his soul, describes how he won Mavericks in 2010, and he won after flying 48 hours from South Africa to all different airports, blah, 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 blah. Gets to San Francisco.
No surfboards.
No surfboard showed up. No wetsuit shooter showed up. He borrows a board. He's had no food. He's had no sleep. The waves are 50 to 60 feet. Biggest. Right? That was the year that the scaffolding got knocked off. And he decides, and he paddles out.
First heat.
Yeah, first heat. And he's this much from dying.
Yeah, he almost drowned.
He's drowned, but he's got his hand in the air like this. He's underwater, and some jet ski driver comes along, grabs his hand, pulls him on top of the jet ski, and tries to take him to the medical boat. And he goes, "Fuck you! We're going out here because I need to keep surfing because I need to make money in order to get home."
Well, and they parked him in the channel.
Yeah,
that's the funniest part about the whole thing. They said, "Okay, great, you can surf in the contest, but we're going to put your ass in the channel so you can't catch a wave."
And he parked him like 100 yards away from where the waves break, and he's sitting there. And he said, "I don't forget this." He said, "Here comes this wide swinging." Motherfucking! It was so big. The sun died. The sun went out. It was just made everything black. And he says, "I had one grandma paddle, which is 2 hands, like that. I was able to do one grandma paddle, caught the wave, and the rest is history. Caught the next heat, won the next heat, won the next heat. Ends up winning the contest. Made $10,000.
Made enough money to get back home.
Yeah.
And then he paddled by himself across the Atlantic Ocean on a paddleboard. with no support boat. Nobody, just him. And that's what this book's about. Amazing guest. You should watch that one too.
Yeah.
Actually, we couldn't publish that show, right?
published it.
Oh, you did? Okay. So maybe you can. He told us to take it down. Shh. Sorry, Chris. It was too good to erase. But that was an amazing one.
Yeah.
And then we go back to
Hang on
like
a second. Check out the new hats on the boardroom.
oh,
Check out the new hat. We have Aptos.
That's your new-
Capitola,
that's your new spot.
Felton, Santa Cruz, SoCal,
Davenport.
Davenport. These are freaking cool right here, and they're only $34.95. In fact, you should buy 4 or 5 of them. They're right here at the brand new. This is a badass hat for Aptos.
Well, and that's a great
Support
segue
the
because
place.
we
Support
started out at KSCO.
Support where you live.
We started out at KSCO, which was a really fun venue because it's a living, working museum right here down the street. That
We had so much fun there.
we had a great time. We broke all the rules, which was awesome. We didn't. It's FCC regulated. We managed to not get arrested for swearing, drinking, both against the law.
We were the only people. We were the only show podcast. Joe Rogan. I get all the big names have never had a burlesque show on their podcast.
Which it wasn't a podcast; it was a radio show. And how
Was
we
it?
got
Oh,
away?
that's
There was- Neil goes, "We're gonna have a burlesque dancers on the radio show tonight," and I'm like, "It's a radio
What did
show."
you tell your wife?
That
That night when you go home, what did you tell the wife?
I go, he didn't tell me we were having burlesque dancers. Who does that on the radio?
You told her there was a band
I
playing.
thought it was a band. The next day, Rosie, we love Rosie. She was the reason we were there.
How come there's a one
Yeah.
of those boa scarves and a bra in the frickin' parking lot?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's one of the 800 shows, by the way. Incredible.
What other shows we had?
Well, we had Caballero on. I mean, it's, you know what my favorite show, one of my favorites? Historically, the Expendables come on and do a Christmas acoustic show. And the Expendables are Santa Cruz, the pride of Santa Cruz, and it's a great, successful band, great guys, good friends.
Yeah.
And to have them come on and basically a private show, and that's been one of the greatest things about the show is that we do a lot of live music.
People watching the show.
And it's fun to have like a private concert with our friends. And we've gotten to know the musicians in this town. Santa Cruz, for those who don't know and those who do, we have an amazing bed of hot talent of musical people. I mean, Mick builds his own guitars. You know,
We've
Don
had-
Carruthers
we've had
plays
every-
guitar like the dreamiest dream.
John Caruth, yeah. We've had a plethora of unbelievable musicians. The music we've heard is incredible.
Fantastic. So that's been a real
And
highlight
then there
of
was the
show.
rooftop concerts,
During COVID.
which was the first music, in the world, live music.
And that was, we were celebrating the Beatles, Abbey Road, right? Is that what it was?
Well, no, I mean I got the idea.
idea
I got
from
the
that.
idea from the fact
Yeah.
that the Beatles did get back on the roof of the Apple Studios in London, and they just happened to just jam to Get Back, and I'm going, ding, ding, ding,
During
ding,
COVID.
ding. Hey TC, I got an idea. He's like, oh shit. My idea is, you're like, what the fuck idea you got?
I'm going to jail.
Right?
This is his idea.
We're all at home. We can't do anything. So I'm like, hey, let's put a band on the roof. He's like, what?
Don
I go,
Cruz.
let's put a band. The first band was Locomotive Breath.
Oh, yes.
So Locomotive Breath, which a bunch of old geezers that are way overweight, and we are stuffing them through windows. They took them up the stairs.
Except Rob on drums.
Except Rob.
Yeah.
Took them up the stairs, along through the
Up a ladder.
up a ladder, through the window.
Yep.
Up another roof, and finally, these old guys are like,
We got him up on the roof here at the boardroom.
They go, hey, and we didn't do any fanfare. We did no Facebook. We did no Instagram. We kept it quiet. And all of a sudden, these guys played fucking Led Zeppelin, Pink
People
Floyd.
started coming out of their houses.
Yeah.
Like you'd been locked up in your houses for a month. And all of a sudden, there was live music. And from the roof here, this is the tallest building in Lower Pleasure Point. And from the roof, where the music was coming from, you could see there's a trailer park behind us. People were coming out of their trailers, and they were dancing in front of their trailers, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it literally,
Across
people
the street
still
here.
talk about that today.
Across the street here, there's apartments across the street. People are dancing and screaming and yelling.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And more people talked about that today.
Still do.
Who were around for that show.
Yeah. There was Locomotive Breath, and next week we did Joint Chiefs, and then Alex played.
Alex Lucero played, and it was amazing. And it kind of got too big. And then one day I was here at the store working, and a sheriff came in the door, and he was like, "Hey, who gave you permission?"
John Leopold.
John Leopold was on the roof, which got us off the hook. Thank you, John.
Anyway,
Our county supervisor.
those concerts that we had at TC, I will never forget, as long as I ever live. I mean, we had so many shows with music, and God bless all the musicians that have come down here and played. We love you all, and thank you. Yes, very much thank you.
Yeah, the bands are awesome.
All the bands that came down. But those 3 concerts on the roof, I'll never forget.
Well, I think we also we gave people hope. We gave them a reason.
It made things normal for an hour. It made things normal for an hour and a half. It just put people normal. It was a normal way of living for an hour and a half.
That first show, I don't think any of us knew how long we were going to be locked up or out of work, suffering, depressed. And honestly, that show was a turning point for our little community right here. It really was. And
no one ever came up to me, and I'm pretty sure that no one ever came up to you and said, "I got COVID from coming to one of your shows."
Nope.
I got written up in Aptos something or other, and I got blasted there. Like, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, people. I had a show. People weren't exactly social distancing. I know, but I was wrong. But people had a great time, but no one got COVID from it.
Well, I think during COVID, how many musical shows do you think we did during COVID?
We did my house. Remember I did my house.
But, I mean, we did
250 something.
I mean, I feel like we pushed the envelope a little bit.
Yeah.
But we wanted the bands to be able to make, because remember, they're out of work, and they got their Venmo, they got a little bit of money, they got the practice.
When you got email, when you have emails or texts that you have on the phone, when you go back after the show's over and you get people who in Spain or whatever country they were worldwide say thank you so much. It's like listening to your live music again. It's like being back to normal.
Right.
Thank you so much. People didn't. It wasn't giving Santa Cruz music. It was giving the whole wide world music.
Can we segue into maybe some of our worst guests? Because I just think that's always kind of...
Well, the worst guest, we know who she... sadly, it was a girl.
We've talked about this a few times, because it really stands out, though.
Yeah.
Can we say her name?
Veronica Gray.
Okay, so that's her name.
She wanted to sue me.
She wants to... What the good news is, she wants to sue Neil. That's the good news. But interjecting into that, I just want to say she came on the show because she invented a wetsuit that had stripes on it. Oh, you saw her on Good Morning America.
I saw her on Good Morning America wearing this wetsuit. She's on stage with all the 4 or 5 hosts that are in the line, and she was there dressed in the black wetsuit with the white stripes.
The white stripes, like a sea snake, right?
And I'm like, well, who's this chick? And she called herself the Queen of Surfing. Right?
We'll come back to that.
The Queen of Surfing. I managed to get a hold of her. I said, "Hey, would you? I have a surf show in Santa Cruz. Would you? If you come if you come through town, would you love to have you on the show?" She basically said, "I'll be on the next plane over."
Really, I didn't know it was that quick.
Yeah,
really?
She said, I'm coming.
She's here.
I'm coming. Right?
Okay.
She wanted publicity bad.
Can we
fast
forward?
Yeah.
She shows up at KSCO.
So if interject
in the wetsuit.
No, hang on. When you have a show in November at KSCO, it's dark, right? So we're waiting for her, and it's dark. And this woman comes in the door wearing the wetsuit that smelled like shit.
Honestly, I'm just going to inject. Do you know when you pee your wetsuit, don't rinse it out, you put it in the trunk for 2 weeks?
Oh,
and when you open the trunk, you're like, oh my God! She put that wetsuit on and walked into the radio station.
Yeah.
And actually, I take it back. The smell arrived before she did. And she name dropped and was, oh my gosh, so kooky. So we go, I have a boat. I said, we're going to take you to the Fairlawns.
Yeah, she was adamant. She was adamant that this wetsuit was going to work against great white sharks. So either you or I said to her, listen, TC has a boat. Would you mind if we drive you to the Fairlawns and throw you overboard? And we can test that.
She's like, no fucking way. And we're like, hold it. And then we're going to fast forward.
Right.
Dave Ebert, #1 shark discovery.
Who's one of our favorite guests?
Shark Week veteran.
Yep.
Wrote the textbook on sharks.
Yep.
He comes on the show and we go, hey, Dave, if you had a wetsuit with these white stripes on it that looked like a sea snake, would a shark not bite you? And he literally said, they suck sea snakes down like noodles. That's what he said. And I was like, hold it. You mean you put on a wetsuit that makes you look like a noodle? Like, oh my gosh.
Veronica Gray.
Veronica Gray.
The queen of surfing.
She's suing Neil right now, by the way.
She's in love with John Florence.
Oh, name drop John.
Veronica, I hope you made millions with that suit.
I hope you and John are happy, because she lived in the North Shore for about a week, and that's all she could talk about.
Then we had, who else do we have on the show? We have the old the guys from the
Santa Cruz Surf
Surfing
Club. Yep.
We got
Harry Mayo. Rest in peace, Harry Mayo.
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse.
He passed away.
Yep. And then it was Reed.
I think it was Reed.
Yeah, it was. It was. I apologize because we
don't have a memory.
Yeah, we don't have a memory. But they were awesome. Their stories. We asked them their best day ever surfing. These guys were late 80s.
Remember the first show with?
And they knew it. They knew their best day. They did.
I knew this was going to be a great show.
Show number one?
Show number one. If you had a show, who would you pick? You got to pick Bob. You have to pick Bob, right?
Bob.
You got to pick Bob. So Bob Pearson was the #1. Was our first show, and he knew more about. We know what the fuck we were doing.
No.
Right? Pushing buttons. We had no idea which buttons I was pushing. People would swear. And there was a dump button, but
we didn't know even where the dump button
right.
was. Yeah.
But the second show was a classic show.
Rufo
with his jailer.
Oh yeah.
So Rufo was in jail for being a stupid idiot.
He came with Steve Gagnon, who ran.
He was your neighbor. He was your neighbor.
Yeah, I know Steve. Yeah.
So Steve was your neighbor, right? And he was Rufo's jailer.
And Steve's a surfer.
Right, and they came on together. So Rufo's jailer and Rufo.
That was awesome, and which was great because and Rufo's doing much better. But when he was in jail, Steve would call me and he's like, "Hey, Rufo's kind of down. You want to come down and have lunch and visit Ruf?" And believe it or not, the jail. If you're not in jail but you work at the jail, you get a pretty good lunch. If you're in jail, not so much. But so I'd go down and have lunch and hang out with Ruf. But another great show.
I remember that. That whole thing with when he was in court and Flea was there, Rocky Romano with Rocky Romano with the big camera and stuff. And
that
was a zoo. That was a scene. That wasn't I'm not described because it wasn't part of our show, but
it was crazy. But it's nice to see that there's people who can get in trouble and stay out of trouble, and hopefully if you get in trouble, and you can stay out of trouble.
And sadly, we have people came on the show that are no longer around, and we were trying to figure that out today. So you got Scribby,
and honestly, if the Scribby show is really good because I feel like that day on the show he had great retrospect in his life.
Yeah.
And so the Scribby show,
the whole thing was dark.
Yeah, and I met Scribby when he was really young, and it was just really sad to see some people get eaten up by the system. But Barney, I had a TV show, and Barney and I co-hosted that thing in the 90s, and it was so sad to see how we've been losing people. Willie Morris.
Right,
we had Big Willie on the show.
Willie was a big bundle of.
God, loved him. I have a tattoo on my shoulder because of Willie Morris, and so Willie is an amazing person. And so one of the beauties of our show, Neil, is that the show lasts.
Yeah.
And I've always said when we started this, there's video of these guys surfing or skateboarding, and there's written interviews, but very rarely do you get them to talk about their lives.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's when you bottle up the best of these almost 900 shows.
Well, pretty soon we're all going to be 50 years from now. None of us are going to be.
Well, exactly. But when you bottle the highlight reel, the quotes, the moments of VC going surfers, that is amazing.
How many times did he come on? 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't. He wasn't the VC that was. He was a VC that was in his 50s or 60s.
Yeah, he had changed at that point.
And he was just laughed the whole time.
Exactly.
He just had that big bellowing, huge laugh.
It's what's interesting is, VC's reputation as a surfer at the lane supersedes how he was inside.
Yeah.
He was a lover, and he was fun. But he had this reputation that sometimes got in front of that. And when in his later years, he got really into fishing.
Yeah.
And he had a little boat he was fishing on and selling some fish. And he lived in Capitola with his girlfriend. And he would drive by and tow his boat and honk his horn and stop. And we'd talk about fishing. And don't get me wrong, VC scared the shit out of me when I was young. He was in charge. And you never, like, if he would turn around and paddle for a wave, I wouldn't even look at him. I would just sit down and pretend I'm staring at an otter. But that was how VC was. But in his 50s, VC was, his focus shifted. And
Yep.
It was an awesome time.
Who else? Kenny Tilton.
God, I'll never forget. Kenny came in here. We have a Kenny Tilton board up on the roof, and he pulled it down. And he was so stoked, and oh my gosh,
Who else?
yeah. There's more. It's just a terrible. It's great to document these people.
Yeah.
It's sad to see them go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's like that's going to be our future that we have to deal with. But we'll keep working to document
We've
it.
had a lot of laughs. So one of the other things attributes to the show is laughing. And nowadays, in today's world, you don't get to laugh enough.
Right. Johnny Rice.
Johnny Rice,
Yeah.
but he didn't manage the show.
Yeah,
Rosemary
did, yeah.
Rosemary did.
Yeah.
And,
And it's
shit that comes to mind, okay? The shit comes to mind is the DUI show that you did, the DUI show.
Oh my goodness.
The DUI show with Aaron.
Aaron CHP, the
Yeah,
captain.
he just retired, yeah.
Yeah. Did he retire?
Yeah, he just retired. Aaron and Chris Inagawa and the guys from the CHP
Paul.
were here. Paul. And so we cleared everything out. And Numa came here with, Numa from Aloha Island Grill came here with Mai Tai, just a bucket load of Mai Tais.
So the idea, folks, was to get me drunk and test me and
Yeah.
show people how easy it is to get drunk so you don't drive at the holidays, which is our goal, right? To keep people safe. And Numa, bless your heart, got me frapped with like 4 solo red cups full of Mai Tais. Top shelf with a floater. I couldn't even stand up. I fell over.
You should have.
I tried so hard to crack the DUI test. I was so serious. That was terrible. And we actually did that on the show, which is, if you want
It
some
was
entertainment.
hilarious.
Yeah, I was terrible.
It ends up, and the whole show ends up where TC has to lock up. And he's drunk. We're all outside waiting for him to come, so we give him a ride home. Yeah. And he ends up putting the key, his keys. Now, TC has a set of keys. What's your keys, TC?
My keys are right here, yeah.
Hang on a sec. Okay, so TC's keys are like this. TC puts this one key to the shop in the side wall.
In the wall?
Into the wall. Stuffs it into the wall thinking it's the fucking door.
Oh, my God. And you know that night? It was,
they drove you home.
Yeah, they did. They're like, dude, you're not driving. I got a ride home from the CHP.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, he had me by the elbow and like one arm around me. He like got me into the house, opened the door.
What did Lorna say?
Spilled me in. Lorna came out and I was sleeping on the stairs. Like my body was actually... She's like, how'd the show go? It was amazing.
But I have to give kudos to Lorna because whatever I make you go through,
Yeah.
and I've made you go through.
Oh,
You're like, who the fuck is it? TC texts me like every Monday, like
Yeah.
we don't talk during the week. We're busy, got shit going on. Monday, TC texts me, who's on the show tonight? I bet
I'm always like, oh my God. It's a band.
Oh, the 2 girls from Shameless Sex fucking.
Oh boy, those 2 got me to talk.
Amy and
They got me in trouble.
Oh my God!
Talked about my Mexico trip. You guys should watch that one.
The sex show from the Shameless Sex Girl.
That's where I had to go through customs in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The Shameless Sex show was hysterical. So
You know,
I
it's
have
also,
put you through a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
I put you through a lot. And what? You don't give a shit.
No, I don't give a shit.
But Lorna doesn't care. She
No, they
give a
don't. I don't care. Yeah,
She
it
doesn't
doesn't
care.
bother me.
No.
I'm not running for Congress.
It doesn't bother her.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother
Yeah.
her at all. Yeah, no, it's great. And then, the kids too. We've had the
best
the
get-
future, right?
The best guest really are the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. The musicians or just the young surfers or skaters or whatever.
Yeah, the young punk rockers, the
SoCal High Jazz Band.
the Rockies kid is surfing Maverick,
Mm-hmm.
Jack. Like it's so cool to see that, and or the young shapers, the visionaries, and
People who are going to change the world.
Yeah,
Cruise
you
Foam.
look back, Cruise Foam. It's like there's so many cool people in this town, and that's honestly why.
Speaking of cool, look what I'm wearing.
It's a nice hat. You like
It's
your
a
hat?
slick lid right here.
Well, the
You should
cool
go
thing.
grab a handful. You should check out.
We're open tomorrow all day if you want to come. We got every spot in town. But that's what's been fun about the show is, I grew up in the surfing and skateboard community here in Santa Cruz, and the show's like a reunion. Everyone gets busy with family and jobs, and the show is when they come back, and you get to give these guys hug your friends, and you get to give them a hug and be like, God, great to see you. Let's catch up, and we do that on the show,
Yeah.
and we record it.
Yeah.
And that's so cool because everybody gets busy and they're all trying to do their thing. And
Right.
that's been one of my favorite things about doing this show.
Yeah.
Is that it's like a reunion every week.
Yeah.
And then when it's not, we're getting a
what-
private concert.
More coffee. We talked about tonight's guest who sadly is sick, but Ward hasn't been on for he's one of our first guests.
Yeah.
Like 9.5 years ago.
And Ward was, oh my gosh, when I was a kid, Ward was dominating. He
Right.
was the mayor of 4 Mile.
Yeah.
He just was amazing. Him and Bud Miller. I was like, those guys are awesome. And we had Bud and his wife, Amy. Amy, oh my gosh. Amy Zavala was one of the best surfers in this town. She ripped. And her and Bud were high school sweethearts or whatever and
Yeah.
have a family.
Right? Yeah. I also say that everybody wants to come on the show. Everybody wants to come on. There's certain people who don't know, and they told me they don't want to come on, and I respect that.
Right.
I don't go grind them. Hey, come on, Dosh on Gooch.
Yep.
Dosh doesn't want to come on. That's not his cup of tea.
That's cool.
I totally understand it.
No, it's all good. But even the shy guys who don't want to talk, like Jason Jesse,
Yeah.
we've dragged them in here.
Well, that's what we used to do. This is our plan, and it works. It's been working out really well. We used to do the show,
And go to dinner.
Then we take people out to dinner and drinks, and then we go, fuck. The real show happens afterwards
show.
in the restaurant. You're like, God,
Yes.
I want to record this shit. So now we do the dinner and drinks before.
And then here, it's like the after dinner show.
Bingo.
Because we used to go to Star Bene.
Yeah.
And which is right up street on Portola, and we would go there afterwards, and that was kind of the good show.
Yeah, thanks. For years we went in there. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to those guys, they were awesome.
I'm sure we had lots more. Yeah, the music. God, the music we've had.
It's just been.
And everybody comes in, they just love the way it sounds. The backdrop of having look at the backdrop, the color of.
Well, and also, I hope that if you ever heard shows or if you had a chuckle or it entertained you, I hope that that's something that's good for you.
And I got to give a shout out to Guy Kawasaki, who we saw tonight at the restaurant across the street, who said to me, Neil, he'd been on a show a couple of times at the radio station, and he called me up and he said, Neil, come to my house. Well, he's like, Guy says, come to your house.
Yeah, go check it out.
You go to the house.
Yeah, his house
So
was no
he's sitting
shack.
on his doorstep, and there was in front of him was an iPad, some kind of machine, microphones, cords, mic stands, the whole thing. And he goes, Neil, I want you to take all this. This is now yours. What am I going to do with that? He goes, I want you to get out of that radio station and go podcast your show immediately, tomorrow. You go talk to your friend TC, explain what you're doing, see if you can do it in the boardroom, get out of there.
Also, the rent's way cheaper at the boardroom.
And he was right. But he was right.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've been able to do a show at different times, whenever we want.
Well,
you can't make it, I can do a show somewhere.
For sure, no, it's amazing, and we're not on a schedule because when we have bands, as an example, at the radio station, we had 1 hour.
Yeah.
You got to be in and out in an hour. Here, we can talk. We can get
Bullshit.
again going back to that reunion thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
Is that you can enjoy the time together. It's
Yeah.
not a rush
Yeah.
to get on and get off.
Right.
And if somebody like Guy Kawasaki says that, you listen because he's a really brilliant human being.
I don't think I can share.
Remember I made those boardroom boards?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We made this one run of some boardroom boards, and Guy came in to get one for his son, And he goes, how much? I had just gotten them. And I was like,
You were stoked. You were
I don't know. And I was like,
$19.95.
I was like, $70, guy. I don't know. And he's like, no. If you're only making this one time, they're $149, whatever. And I was like, really? We sold them in a day.
Right.
You know, because it takes that kind of a brain. And thank you, Guy Kawasaki, for having that mentality, because Apple wouldn't be where they are today without you. So another one of our great guests.
Yeah.
And there's more to come. But the great thing is that we do this for fun.
Yep.
And
he and I remained very close friends. We never had one bad word.
not one bad word.
I'm very proud, but not one.
Not one bad word.
Not
in
one.
10 years. And the reason
I did blow you off last week, and I left your old drunk, left your old schmammer, and had to go drive somewhere.
Oh yeah, because I had to clean up.
Yeah.
That was maybe the first time. I was like,
Why
hey, dude, don't run off to see some girl when the shop's a mess. But with that being said, when we very first started the show, we can go back to the very beginning. You said, let's do this show. And I said, I don't need another job.
No.
And so if you do it, I'll happily do it with you, but I don't want any ownership of this show at all. Zero. I don't want to sell an ad. I don't want to collect money from an ad. I don't want to, and that's, I think, a huge part of the success.
Just kept money out of it.
Yeah, there's been no
put money into it,
there's
you
no
fuck.
partnership.
Put money-
It's friendship.
It's a handshake.
Yeah. And so that's the beauty of it, folks. Keep that in mind in your life.
Uh-huh.
Have it be friendship, not partnership.
So you add, instead of worrying about money with a guy that's a friend of mine, it can be stressful. I don't have that. I have a best friend.
Yeah, that's great. It's been awesome.
That's all I got. So I got a best mate, which I don't worry about that shit.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And so my advice to all of you out there listening in your future is friendships, not partnerships.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a significant other, that's totally different. But, that's been one of the most amazing parts about the radio show, is that it's just been fun. And it will continue to be fun. And boom! 10 years, everybody! Look at that. That is the
badass.
assembly, yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Gail Pellerin, by the way, got that arranged for us, and she's an amazing human. So we got a whole bunch more shows coming.
Yep. There's some good shows coming up.
Yeah, and great guests and great music.
There's always guests. You can always bump into. You never know who you talk to. I see TC every Tuesday night. He's got at least 3 guests for me.
Yeah, well, I just talked to our friend Garrett Ginner, who's a Santa Cruz skateboarder, who's done great on YouTube. He's going to be coming on the show soon, and Malachi Green is playing in a band that's just growing like crazy. And
what's the name of the band?
Oh,
your memory's like that.
But my bad. But Malachi's band's doing big shows, so we got some great shows coming up. Obviously, we'll get Ward back because he's not feeling well tonight. But it's great to have it be. The show's like sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And we record it for you.
Yeah.
But the shows are really just getting people on the couch, catch up, find out what's going on. We record it.
We don't care.
When you drive in your car, you can listen to it. And we don't care if you do or don't. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why here we are, 10 years, still doing it.
No, I think it's almost 11.
Yeah, I guess, right?
I missed it.
We forgot it was 10 years. We're having too much fun.
Anyway, thanks to everybody. Everybody listens. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and big props to Tyler Fox and Santa Cruz Waves. He's pretty much let us kind of put everything we do on his social media page, and we appreciate you, Tyler. So thank you for that. All of the people who have supported the show over the years. One who sticks out is Steve Pereira. Just had a birthday.
All the sponsors: Steve Pereira, Sean Rovi from Farmers Insurance.
He's the shark bracelet guy. By the way, our shark guy, he debunked that one too. It was back there on the shelf. I don't know what happened to it, but
Timmy from Pono.
Yes.
I got Numa from Aloha Island Grill.
Yep.
Shelly Strelly from the lawyer. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
She comes in and gets her balls busted once in a while.
We have great people who support the show, and they're friends. And,
Yeah.
and friends are hopefully your supporters.
Beach Nest Vacation Rentals.
Yeah, John's awesome.
A lot of people support the show. And if you want to support the show, just give me a shout.
We appreciate all of you, and most of you have been here since day one. We're 10 years later. We've done this together, so that's really fantastic. If you tuned in tonight and you've gotten this far, congrats. We decided to talk about our 10 years of shows and our 10 years of friendship, and it's been awesome. We look forward to more. We're glad you've been here with us. Neil?
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week right here on the Off the Lip Radio Show. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.